This has been such an exciting week for this club. Not only did you play your first MLS team, but you guys were able to beat DC United. How special was that moment, and what were the emotions following the win?
Yeah, a memorable night for sure. Not only for myself and for the individuals, but for the club overall. You know, it's a relatively young club, and to go up to such a historic franchise like DC United and come out on top was special. Not to mention that we're in the last 16 of the competition, and we take that very seriously, and we're not done yet.
It was only the third time a USL League One team has beaten an MLS team. What does that say about the growth of this club? I know that you mentioned that it's a very young club, found it in 2021, didn't have its first season until 2022. Obviously, it's a big growth deal for this club.
Yeah, I came in last year, and the standard was set very early on that we are a winning club. We did a fantastic job of growing throughout the year last year, and we're able to not only win the league but win the playoffs as well. So to do the double and then kind of continue on from that that's our standard, is winning. We have a long ways to go this year, but I think we're ahead of where we were last year, and it just shows us beating DC to where we're at right now.
Seems like this group is pretty selfless too, right? We talked to Jonathan Burke, who had the game-winning save. He credited his teammates after the win. Obviously, those penalty moments were so big for you guys. Is that selflessness the kind of culture you're trying to build here at One Knox?
It starts with being a good person. No one that comes into this club, is going to be bigger than the club. So being a team first, individual, teammate, and then we have got a lot of characters as well. So, they're not robots. And so I love that about them, is that they're all jokesters, and creating that culture is really important, because that crosses over the white lines into the field.
And obviously a lot of these guys are international players as well. They're not with their families. They probably only really have each other here in Knoxville. How do you, as a coach, kind of help them bring those connections together without having, a family here?
Yeah, it started many years ago when the club decided that they have apartments, team apartments, and that these guys are family now. They all know each other's girlfriends' wives, and then, Drew's wife is like the mom of the group, and so it is a family here, and I love that about that. I missed that for many years. Working at higher divisions, you kind of lose that, and I really value that.
I see a lot of selflessness, a lot of pride in being able to play for this club. Is that why this group was able to beat DC United the other night?
They're good too, but yes, I think you're going to be asked questions throughout an entire match, especially when it gets really, really hard. And when it gets hard, you have to lean on your teammates, and these guys know what that feels like. They've been through it, and suffering is part of soccer. So yes, they are really good players, but they can rely on each other for sure.
That's awesome. What was the locker room like after winning that game?
Buzzing. In fairness, we were buzzing before. We felt very, very confident, playing in a beautiful stadium like that on natural grass, and we were buzzing before, but to get the result that we desired and wanted was kind of icing on the cake. But again, we're not done in the competition yet.
A little birdie told me that you played DC United as a player. You scored against them, right? But you didn't end up winning the game. This has to feel like kind of a redemption arc for you a little bit.
Yeah, it was so long ago that I've often forgotten about that. And I don't have a grudge against DC, and it was nice for these guys to come out on top. But, playing against those guys back in the day and winning, or losing in the final, but winning against other MLS clubs, I know that feeling, what it means to these guys. So I'm really proud of them. For
people at home who don't know how difficult it is to beat an MLS team, can you do a good job at describing that? Because I don't think people really understand how different the levels of United States soccer works in this country.
Yeah, the closest thing I could maybe compare it to is if East Tennessee State played the Tennessee Titans. They're 2 or 3 notches down. The amount of money that those guys are making compared to some of our guys, their infrastructure, their facilities. We're a new club and hope to get all those nice things at some stage. But yeah, it's a massive difference, and that's why I'm so darn proud of our guys.
And I know you're probably not going to credit yourself at all, but I know last year was your first season as head coach, and you lead this team to league champions. I mean, what kind of pride do you have in yourself to be able to lead this group of guys to that victory?
You know, certainly there is a bit of pride. I'm very prideful in the club and how hard we've worked, very prideful in the players and how hard they've worked. But again, we have to prove it every single day. So it's very difficult to sit there and, you know, take the moments and enjoy them. You try to, but again, you know, we've got a lot more to do.
Have you noticed a shift in this year's guys and last year's guys, like still trying to keep that chip on their shoulder even though they did come out as champions?
Certainly, you want that chip on their shoulder. You know, they've had a taste of what winning is, a lot of these guys, and you just want it again and again and again. The hardest thing to do is actually go and do it again. So we've been putting that on their shoulders a lot. We have a target on our back and we know it, but our guys are grown up enough and they can handle it.
Obviously, Knoxville is a university city, right? The Tennessee Vols, the Lady Vols get a lot of traction and attention. What does it mean to have that community around you guys as well when you guys are having so much success?
I love sports. I love college sports. So being in a massive college town, college area, we love it. I grew up in a small town that had a university, and it feels very similar to that. Tennessee's a little more successful than Oregon State, but I love that atmosphere, and I love winning, and Tennessee's a winner. They're serial winners, and I love that, and there's room for those guys to watch us too, so loving it.
And to be in the middle, you guys get to play at Covenant Health Park. It's literally in the middle of downtown. How cool is that to be able to get everybody in from Knoxville and to fill those stands as well?
It's the vibe, isn't it? You know, anytime you have a stadium downtown, people, there are bars, restaurants to walk to rather than being way out in the middle of nowhere. You know, if UT were 30 minutes away, the whole vibe would be different. So our stadium, Covenant downtown, is just awesome. You know, pulling into the park and having those game day vibes, and you feel it for sure.
It's super interesting. I was kind of talking to Trey about this, that your regular season is also mixed in with these cups and these tournaments, and you have like a bunch of things going on throughout your schedule. Why is that? Is that challenging at all, or is it hard to focus on one thing at a time when there's so many different aspects to your schedule?
You have to prioritize. You have a lot of planning. You know, we don't have a second team where we can bring guys up. You know, we are what we are. A lot of planning. The staff have been unbelievable with that. So a lot does go into it, but we love playing games. So if we didn't have these, you know, we'd be out here training, and which is fun, but we like competing. So yeah, a lot of planning goes into it, and the guys have to be, you know, ready to go for anything.
Yeah. You guys take on another MLS team in the round of 16. What's the preparation like? Are you guys treating this like the last time you played DC United, and what's that kind of look like? Again,
planning. You know, we have a match before it against a team, you know, in a division above us, so we got to concentrate on that first. But yeah, I think guys are quietly looking at that date. You know, the Crew, you know, they won a few years ago, and their stadium is remarkable. Their training ground's unbelievable. Got a really quality squad, so it's going to be difficult, but we can't wait to get up there. Got a job to do first, but we can't wait to get up there.
Despite what happens in that game, how proud are you of this group? I mean, in 2023, before you got here, they finished, I think, 8th in the USL League One standings, and you guys go on to win a championship last year, and you beat an MLS team this year. I mean, how proud are you of this club for just reaching new heights?
Certainly proud. There's no question about it. There's a side of us too, is that we want more, and we want to compete up there. We want to put our best foot forward. I think there'll be time to look back and say, you know, what an amazing performance it was in DC, and hopefully what an amazing performance it is in Columbus. And pride is certainly one of those, but we're not done yet.